Hello and welcome to this video for the Bicester School History Department. This is a video for Year 10 and Year 11 students studying AQA GCSE History, specifically the Britain and the Health of the People module. It will use the medicine booklet which is available to download from the school website. The link is in the description. The purpose of this video is to give you a general introduction to the topic and guide you through completing the tasks. Pause this video as you work through the tasks. Don't watch it all in one go. If you have any specific questions, make sure to email your history teacher. This episode will continue to look at medieval approaches to disease and specifically look at the Black Death. Now, death was a more common occurrence in medieval times, with the average life expectancy being 32, and many children not living past the age of 2. Common diseases included dysentery, typhoid, smallpox and measles. Alongside the herbal and supernatural treatments mentioned in the previous episode, cures included bleeding, eating frogs, or washing in urine. Yet, some cures and treatments were good. The use of garlic, honey and wine as herbal treatments are all in some form minor antiseptics, so they can be an effective way of dealing with infection. Have a go at the discussion questions. The Black Death. In 1348, the Black Death, a terrible plague, swept across England, killing approximately a third of the population. It is really important for our GCSE that you know 4 things about the Black Death. The causes, both believed and actual, the symptoms, the treatments and preventions, and the consequences. Firstly, the causes. The real cause of the Black Death was through fleas on rats. The disease had travelled on boats from Europe and had spread quickly due to dirty towns and a lack of hygiene. However, as people back then didn't know about germs, there were many beliefs about the causes, including it being a punishment from God, it being caused by being close to infected people, the position of the planets, an imbalance of the 4 humours, a deliberate act by Jews poisoning the drinking water, or bad smells or air. The technical term for this is miasma. As we can see, they didn't know the real cause of the Black Death. The symptoms of the Black Death most notably included painful swellings called buboes, which grew in the neck or groin, which often contained thick yellow pus. This was followed by a fever, painful spasms, and black bruising under the skin, hence why it's called the Black Death. People would often die within a week. Though some people did catch the plague and survive, it was rare. They tried to prevent getting the plague. Some people went on pilgrimages or gave money to the church to try and appease or please God. Some people punished themselves by whipping themselves for their sins. You can see in this picture here. These people were called flagellants. The word to whip yourself is flagellate. Fires were also lit to purify the air. This was a way that they believe would try and counteract miasma. However, when you had the disease, doctors didn't know how to cure it. But they offered a wide range of treatments such as bleeding, attaching dead toads to the poison in order to suck the poison from the bubo, popping the buboes, rubbing feet with chickens, or drinking mercury, which would always kill the patient, as mercury is poisonous. As we can see, the treatments weren't very effective at dealing with the disease. And that's kind of not surprising, given the fact that they didn't know what actually caused it. The impact was that it killed a third of the population of Britain. This meant that actually peasants grew in importance, and they received wage rises as there were less of them. However, it did have a devastating effect on villages, in some cases wiping them out completely. Have a go at this task. Try and get as much detail as you can, because this is really important. Here you can see a summary of what we've talked about in the last few episodes, about their beliefs about disease and how to treat it. Here we can see a sample exam question. This is a source question, and more specifically a utility question or a usefulness question. It's worth 8 marks, so you need to write 2 paragraphs and spend approximately 10 minutes on this question. It's really important in this question to use both the source and your own knowledge, as you need to use both together in order to score top marks. Now, when thinking about a source, you need to think about the time, when it was written, the author, who wrote it, the place, where did they write it, the purpose, why did the author create this, the reliability, can you trust the information, the accuracy, is the information correct, and the typicality, is this normal for the time period or is it a standout? Now, you don't have to think about every single one of these for every single source, but it's a good idea to try and pick out a few for each source. I often find that the author, time and purpose are the easiest to do. So, this question: how useful is source A to a historian studying beliefs about disease in the Middle Ages? Explain your answer using source A and your contextual knowledge. Now, source A is a 14th century illustration from a medical textbook. This was used at medical schools across Europe, which were set up by the Catholic Church. In short, this question is asking you what this source tells us about beliefs about disease in the Middle Ages. Have a go at answering this question. To give you some tips, this question and this source shows bloodletting in a medical textbook. Therefore, this is useful to a historian because it shows the importance of Galen and the 4 humours in the medieval times. The treatment we see here is in line with the 4 humours. This person is having blood let out of them. You also couldn't challenge these ideas as it would be going against God. This text would have been written by a monk. This text would have been taught in a Catholic Church medical school. So this is also useful for a historian studying beliefs about disease because it shows how important God is to disease. God causes disease. And you couldn't challenge the beliefs about how to cure it. There are other things you could say about this source, however. Have a go at writing the question. If you need any more specific help, make sure to email your history teacher. Thanks for watching.